moving on, more PlayStation news. The former PlayStation head says that Ghost of Yotai beats Ghost of Tsushima. This finally, I mean, the headline actually sounds like it should be obvious because is it the point for the second game to be better than the first? But let's see what they're saying here. Let's see what they're saying. According to Shohei Yoshida, I'm asking man a lot of questions. Former PlayStation head, Ghost of Yotai is even better than Ghost of Tsushima. So he had another interview with PlayStation Inside, and Yoshida was asked whether there was a specific formula for Western games to work in Japan, with PlayStation set to release Ghost of Yotai this October. Yoshida answered, stating that he doesn't know whether there is a recipe as such, and that the developers need an understanding of Japan and its culture. This kind of reminds me of the whole Assassin's Creed argument. But I mean, again, nobody complained about Ghost of Tsushima. No, literally nobody complained about Ghost of Tsushima and respecting the culture of Japan. So again, this kind of sounds like more of an obvious point, but again, it kind of sounds like a dig at some other developers and them, allegedly not respecting the Japanese culture. It's a Yotai combat should be more fun because of weapons. Yeah. So it says especially for games set in the country and its history. Yoshida revealed with Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch was working extensively with the Japanese producer at Sony Entertainment, along with colleagues at the Japan studio. Okay, the move was integral during brainstorming and pitching ideas, as the developers of Japanese origin could confirm whether the ideas were respectful to the country. Yeah, again, like they're this is yeah. Now that I continue to read it, this is definitely more of a dig at Assassin's Creed. So Sucker Punch, even though they did well, nobody complained about anything being disrespectful in Ghost of Tsushima. Now in Ghost of Yotai, they're definitely trying to make sure that they don't make any mistakes because they don't want that backlash. Even though, again, outside of the main protagonist being a woman, because there was a little bit of a stink about that, which again I don't know why, but outside of there being a woman main protagonist, but do we really think that the same anti-woke folks are going to complain about Ghost of Yotai if there were any elements that were disrespectful to the Japanese culture? I doubt it. I highly doubt that they're going to be looking at Ghost of Yotai with the fine tooth comb and be like, hey, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. And you know why? I've said it a million times, but you know why they won't. Okay. No matter how many times they try to deny it, the main reason why they got upset and then started looking at everything else that was allegedly wrong with Assassin's Creed was because there was a black guy who was one of the main protagonists of the game. But in this case, no, it's a woman main protagonist again, just like Assassin's Creed. And again, I don't think they're going to be looking at this game, that heavy like they did Assassin's Creed. So to continue on here, Yoshida added that Sucker Punch also visited Tsushima Island to learn their culture and history, which is why the island's unique atmosphere could be felt in the game through the wind system. Ghost of Tsushima also helped bring more tourism to the real life island as well, which, again, the Japanese are kind of upset about, mainly because of us, Americans going over there acting a fool, but, it is what it is. Yoshida explained that to sell a game in Japan, when making a game set in the country, the developers need to understand the country throughout. Yoshida concluded that he has played Ghost of Yotai at several stages of development, and having played Ghost of Tsushima 2, he can assure players that the upcoming title will be even better and that Sucker Punch has done it again. So he's saying they can't miss. He's saying that Sucker Punch can't miss here. So, I mean, again, he kind of said a lot of, like, to me, more obvious points here. Again, I would be fully expecting Ghost of Yotai to be better than Ghost of Tsushima, but to add the other stuff, it's like, oh yeah, Sucker Punch worked with, exclusively with Japanese developer, people who know the history to make sure that they understand Japan and the culture. I'm like, that's an obvious dig at Assassin's Creed. And while I don't fault Sucker Punch for doing that, I just feel like, again, if you didn't have any of those problems with the first game, I highly doubt you're going to have those same problems with the second game. But hey, better safe than sorry is all I'll say. Better safe than sorry. So I'm not mad at Sucker Punch for making sure that they cross their T's and dot their I's. But the anti-woke folks, they're in the spiral right now. I haven't seen any anti-woke stuff in a very long time on my timeline. So you already know they're running out of steam. It ain't much that they can talk about right now. So because all the things that they're hating on, have been hits. And you love to see it, man. You love to see it. All right. More Yoshida news. This is talking about rising game prices. One of the huge topics over the past couple of months, really sparked off with the Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff. But when we saw it in person, in real life, not any hypotheticals, with the whole Nintendo Switch and Mario Kart situation, now this is really sparked up. And like I said before, I knew that when Nintendo came out the gate saying that they would charge $80, that other companies will follow suit. And sure enough, now we are going to be in the $79.99 era. So congratulations, all consumers. You played yourselves, because once you agree to this, once you accept it, then that's when everybody else follows suit. So let's read what Yoshida also had to say about the rising game prices. So in recent weeks, players have been coming into terms with the realization that gaming is getting more expensive. Yeah, we have come to the realization, but that still doesn't mean that I like it, and it shouldn't mean that anybody else should like it either. But again, we accept a lot just to be entertained. Nintendo unveiled the Switch 2 with some interesting software price points. Xbox bumped up first-party titles to around $80, and 5-year-old consoles picked up new boosted price tags. I believe this was inevitable, Yoshida agrees. In a recent interview, the former PlayStation head shared his thoughts on increasing game prices in the gaming world, stressing that it was bound to happen, always bound to happen. All right, so Yoshida said, I think it was going to happen sooner or later. Maybe not from Nintendo, but it was going to happen eventually. We live in contrasting times where inflation is real and significant, but people expect games that are even more ambitious and therefore expensive to develop to cost the same. It's an impossible equation. I'm going to stop there. For one, I don't know about the average consumer, but I, for one, am not asking for games to be even bigger and better and have better graphics that are just so mind-blowing and have 40-hour, 50-hour stories and be totally open world. I'm not asking for those games. I just want a good experience. So I don't know where this notion came from that gamers are just expecting bigger and better. Can we do like a worldwide survey or something to see like what the actual consensus is for gamers? Because I just find it hard to believe. Like, who is actually saying this? Like, man, I want my games to be more expensive. I want you all to give me a top tier premium experience every single time that you come out with a new video game. And this game is going to cost over $100 million to make every single time, and it's going to take 5 to 7 years to make. And therefore, when you make these games that cost even more to make, then I have to pay more to play it, because you just put all this time and effort and spent all these resources in order to make this video game. I don't care about this stuff. I'm not saying that games can advance, because ultimately that's the goal for games to advance, to evolve and get better. But I don't need these super significant, just top tier graphics for every single video game that I play. I just want a good experience. If it's a single player game, I want a good story. If it's a multiplayer game, I just want good multiplayer mechanics. Like, I'm a simple man. Like, I don't need that much in my video game in order to have a good experience. So I just find that funny. Like, that people expect gamers, games that are even more ambitious, because people at this point, again, we've been buying remasters. Like, we're still in the remaster era. So what are you talking about? People want more ambitious games, because people who have already exposed themselves, they don't even play some of the new games that are out. You're not playing some of the new IPs. You're still playing old games. You're playing 10-year-old games. You're playing games that are almost 20 years old. So the data, the math ain't mathing there. So that's just my opinion, but I don't know who's saying this. I don't know what gamers are saying that they want more ambitious experiences. Everything in video games today is more advanced and more technologically demanding than ever before, true. And therefore requires more resources, also true. Each publisher or manufacturer sets the price of its games, of course, but in the end, the heart of the matter lies in production costs. All right. I mean, yes, fair enough. But again, going back to my original point, I'm not looking for those experiences with every single video game that comes out. So that's that. And then it continues to say, not a written rule, but AAA games, especially have become increasingly expensive because the budgets required to piece them together are swelling. Let's not forget about the rumors about GTA 6. We already talked about cost more than $2 billion to develop, and I could believe that. I could believe that rumor that it costs more than $2 billion to make GTA 6. I mean, with that trailer alone that we literally just looked at, it looks like that's a hefty amount of cash that has been put into that video game. So, it is what it is with that. It is what it is with that. All right, more news here. Destiny 2. They want to announce something the same day that GTA 6 dropped their trailer. But apparently Destiny 2 is not dead, and they're going to do a Star Wars collaboration. You're going to do a Star Wars collaboration. So the article says an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion puts players in the Star Wars universe with familiar weapons and outfits from the iconic movie franchise. It sounds like they're pulling a Fortnite here, or even I guess in some cases a Call of Duty. So this is interesting. I don't know how many people still playing Destiny 2, but generally whenever you hear Star Wars, a lot of people get excited. So I don't know what this will entail. But let's continue on here. It says after a massive wave of layoffs in July 2024, Destiny 2 fans feared the worst. However, Bungie stepped step forward and committed to supporting the game with regular updates. The team followed through on that promise in January by announcing Star Wars skins and cosmetics. Oh, so they've already done this, or they've already announced it. Additionally, Bungie announced that the next expansion, The Edge of Fate, will launch on July 15th. And that's not the only update to look forward to, as Renegades is another expansion. Okay. And they also have a teaser trailer for the Renegades expansion, which is set to launch December 2nd, 2025. The update will be fully revealed on September 9th, but the teaser trailer sheds some light on what fans can expect. Characters in the trailer use a mix of traditional Star Wars blasters and lightsabers as their weapons, and we can get a brief shot of a desert environment that resembles the iconic planet Tatooine. Fans don't need to wait until December before getting their hands on Star Wars content. All right, let me look at this trailer real quick. What's the teaser trailer? All right, my thing here is the lightsabers are cool. Obviously, the lightsabers are cool, but the blasters, like in my opinion, compared to the weapons that are in Destiny 2, the weapons that they made aren't blasters like kind of weak. Like I don't know. It just seemed like kind of like something that you wouldn't want to play with compared to the other guns that are already in the game that are like seem so much better, just aesthetically and probably what the actual functionality of the guns do. But hey, all right, cool. If you're a Star Wars fan and I guess you play Destiny, so you're excited about this, but this really does nothing for me. This does nothing for me, so it is what it is on that one. But hey, we got some collaborations going on with Bungie. I feel like they're getting desperate at this point. They're trying to prove their worth. They're trying to prove their worth. Sony bought them for a lot of money, and they got to do something. They got to do something. So we got Marathon on the way. People kind of have mixed feelings about that, but they're still working on Destiny 2 as well. So, all right. Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 is playable end to end. What? Half-Life 3 is playable. Let's see what's going on, because again, Valve can't count to 3. So is this real? Is this real? According to a new claim, it seems Valve already has a playable version of Half-Life 3. The information about Half-Life 3 development progress comes from Tyler McVicker. Okay. On his new Ask Me Anything video, he dived into a full-fledged conversation about Half-Life 3, discussing the game's playtest, plot, development schedule, and more. Also, he stated that Half-Life 3 will not be a VR title. Okay, if this is true, thank God. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a VR title. Excuse me, but I mean, with them making the last one, making Alex a VR title, I can see why people might think that. So starting with the development progress, McVicker stated that the game is the furthest it's ever been, and that Half-Life 3 is playable end to end. Currently, the devs are optimizing and polishing the game, and is probably already content locked. And if it's not, then it's mechanic locked. Not sure exactly what that means. Oh, excuse me. Not exactly sure what that means, but hey, okay. All right. So procedural generation. He stated earlier that Half-Life 3 is being played tested so religiously and so widely that some players will divulge all details. Starting with the procedural generation, seems that this feature in Half-Life 3 will not be related to changing geometry, but changing entity placement. Doors, physics, props, enemies, items, or NPCs can be considered entities. However, procedural generation will not build a brand new level. This feature will not extend to the story of the game either. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't make sense if it's like a main to single player story. Having like procedural generation making brand new level doesn't make sense. Okay. He also provided some details about Portal. Oh, Portal 3. Any Portal fans in here? I love Portal. Saying that Eric Wolpaw wants to do Portal 3 so fucking bad. Okay. Please. Yeah, if this is true, please make a Portal 3. Yeah. Further to the video, he also noted that most of them will retire after the release of Half-Life 3. Depending on who remains, Portal 3 might become the next single player game or single player project for them. Okay. Also, Chell from Portal might pop up in Half-Life 3. Okay. I mean, again, these are all rumors, all speculation here. But from what it sounds like, and if this is true, then maybe something will manifest itself. Maybe something will manifest itself. So we'll see. All right. Final bit of news. Man, oh man. Yesterday was very interesting. Yes, it was very interesting for Xbox fans. I'm sorry, y'all. It's Jover. It's Jover. We can't do this console war stuff anymore. Cannot do this console war stuff anymore. I never thought I'd see today where Gears of War would be on PlayStation. Just wow. So the rumors were true. Gears of War Reloaded, a remaster of the original game. I kind of wish this was a bundle, but you know, maybe further down in the future. We'll get a Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3. But for now, the original Gears of War is being remastered and it's coming to PlayStation in August. So, complete remaster of the 2006 game built from the ground up. I would love to see what that looks like. Built from the ground up. So, the coalition is making this game in partnership with Disbelief and Sumo Interactive. Comes on August 26th. Be available for $39.99. But if you have already bought the Ultimate Edition, then you get the game for free. You get Reloaded for free, which is awesome. So Gears of War Reloaded will have 4K resolution up to 120 frames per second. With the kicker here, which I really enjoy, it has crossplay and cross progression on all platforms. So that means we can all play together. So I don't need a PlayStation. I'm not going to buy it again on a PlayStation. I'm just going to get the PC version. But we could play with Xbox people, PC people, and PlayStation people. Yeah, I'll be back. And to add to that, you don't need a Microsoft account to play. But if you want to do the cross-platform experience, then you do. Okay. Other things, it will have multiplayer, which is awesome. I'm glad they're not pulling the Activision like they did with Modern Warfare. That version that they made, it did put multiplayer there. Knowing damn well it's what everybody wants to play. It's like, why did y'all do that? Why did y'all do that? But Gears of War will have multiplayer. Hopefully they have forward too. They should have the full package. So this is awesome. Love to hear it, but also sad for the Xbox fans because they're losing all their recipes. Next is Halo. If Halo comes to PlayStation, then what are we talking about here? They're literally done. Halo comes over, they're done. So it'd be a sad day to be an Xbox fan and have to deal with this for so long just to have your iconic franchises all go over to the ops. So man, it is what it is. So